you've asked it again. Let me see. We've worked together for 6 years in the Senate. And my track record shows that I can work with 23 other republics. You cannot be Senate President in harmony if you are not able to work with everyone. In minority, whether it's they come from the minority or the majority or on the critical side, if I can call it that. And then we've known each other. We're friends. It's probably obvious that I can work with anyone. In this case, I distinctly recall that even before we filed our certificates of candidacy, Senator Marcos and I met in a private meeting, and we actually discussed about the forthcoming elections and the situation of the country during that time. So if I can work with 23 republics, I'm sure I'll be able to work to whoever wins as a president.
Thank you, Senator Soto.
That was straight from Radyo Bandido. Stay tuned daily till Election Day for this ongoing series. If you like listening to this station, DZRJ 810 AM, there's no excuse not to listen anywhere and wherever you want. Listen on your phone or computer anytime, anywhere in the world. Just download the app for free. How do you download? If you have an Android phone or tablet, go to Google Play Store. If you have an iPhone or iPad, go to Apple App Store. It's that simple. You have 3 choices. Just type in TuneIn Radio. Once the app is downloaded, search for DZRJ 810 AM. For Radio Garden app, once it's downloaded, search for DZRJ 810 AM. And for Streema app, that's STREEMA. And once it's downloaded, search for DZRJ 810 AM. And now you can enjoy DZRJ 810 AM anytime and anywhere. Hey, it's free.
To all Teleradio Bandido viewers and listeners, you can now watch Teleradio Bandido on our new YouTube channel, RJAM News. Hit the subscribe button and like the video. Don't forget to click the bell icon so you get notified when a new video gets uploaded. Don't miss out on our dynamite lineup. You are watching the multi-awarded Radio Bandido TV on Channel 224 Sky Cable and TV Plus boxes. Simulcast on DZRJ 810 AM. Informing, advising, and entertaining the Filipinos and OFWs around the world. Streaming live on www.facebook.com/DZRJ 810 AM or on YouTube, channel RJAM News.
Ayan. So, wishing everyone around the world a pleasant, peaceful, good evening po sa lahat. Before we begin, of course, I dedicate this episode to Ukraine's complete and permanent victory and freedom sooner than a miracle. Amen. So, mag-aapat na linggo na po, and you're probably wondering why I'm still dedicating this episode, because it is not yet finished, diba? We must always push for goodness to win over evil. Ika nga. Okay? So I'm DJ Chinne, and right now you are tuned in to Good, Great, Unstoppable, the Francine de las Alas show, and I'm your host for the next hour. And we air live, of course, from DZRJ 810 AM every Saturdays po from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. So 1 hour tayong pwedeng magkasama, and here we try to build each other up. Okay? So anyway, you can also find us at your TV Plus boxes in your area. Kasi I understand it differs from every location, okay? And also, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's RJ News PH. Of course, don't forget to CLC nicely, okay? So, iwan na po natin lahat ng mga nega comments sa labas. Wag lang dito. Okay, dokes? So, anyway, It's been 4 weeks and the war in Ukraine rages on. So it's troubling, of course, that we are allowing Putin to violate all aspects of human rights. You know, as I read through as I follow the news in BBC for the last 3 weeks, it is becoming clearer and clearer that Putin does not really want to negotiate, and clearer that his tactics not really to just defeat Ukraine, but to defeat Ukraine through military might, but also to defeat it by destroying the cities kasi nga naman may hirapan mag-recover. So I hope our think tanks, diba, that are willing to help Ukraine can see through this. The sanctions are not working. It's very slow, diba? And there are also there's countries like Belarus and even China that's helping and backing up Ukraine. So we can't just stand by, and I'm not really sure why we can't just close the skies, diba? We've suffered more deaths since the call of President Zelensky last week in his speech at the U.S. Congress to have the skies over Ukraine closed. Okay, so I don't know. It's really a shame that we find more cowards, cowards after that. Where else would Ukraine go after that speech? Okay, the only way the ball is now in our court. Okay, it's no longer in the President Zelensky's court or Ukraine's court. It's now really our turn to help them help Ukraine. Diba? End the war and the invasion in Ukraine and put Putin and Russia and Belarus in their place. Okay, so I pray, of course, that I hope that that Putin becomes no match at all whatsoever to the power of even just a single prayer. And I pray that for every soul and the generation that he has snuffed out is rewarded with punishment equal or more to the energies and innocent lives killed. Kulang po ang pagsorry niya. That's not enough. Okay, so he has to pay either generational or reestablish back Ukraine and pay back Ukraine and help Ukraine rebuild itself and the families families whose loved ones were lost, lalo na also on their side, right? So I understand there are thousands of soldiers already that have been killed, Russian soldiers that had been killed already, and it just really goes to show how that he is also, you know, a traitor in his own country. So I hope the Russians also realize and really boot him out of power, because he is not a good leader. And I think, he is also mentally losing it. Diba? So if that's not the kind of leader that we want someone who is mentally stable. All right? So anyway, I commend President Volodymyr Zelensky and the Ukrainians for their inspiring show of courage and heroism. Ito yung totoong heroism, guys. Diba? Walk the talk. Diba? These are traits that Putin does not possess, traits that coward leaders and nations do not have. Diba? So I truly hope that our leaders become like a Zelensky and our people like the Ukrainians. Diba? So let's let's continue to pray for them and the end of war and invasion. So we call on volunteer, of course, donors to help Ukraine right now. You can donate to organizations such as Doctors Without Borders, United Nations and Commission Human Rights, Care.org, platforms such as Canva, diba? Mga apps and Airbnb. So we have donated to Doctors Without Borders as it felt right when we were looking for an organization for the first organization that we will donate to. And we also hope and we also will be providing meals for our next donation. So I hope you guys will also lift your souls, diba? And your fingers to donate, even if it's just 750 pesos. Okay? Of course, no one is stopping you to donate more in the name of world peace and saving lives. Okay? So, tulong lang tayo ng tulong. You might be thinking, ba't hindi ako tumutulong sa bansa natin? Please lang. I am. Diba? In ways that more consistent, even if we don't have money. We do that. Okay? So, tawag dito. But right now, of course, world peace is more important. more important na pagtulong-tulungan natin. Okay? So anyway, speaking of world peace, let us now go to our own backyard. So election is right around the corner. So let me just remind everyone of the following tips and reminders in choosing our our president, our vice president, and our senatorial candidates, diba? I doubt if we have any Zelensky in the roster of candidates in this election. I don't think we ever had any a Zelensky even before, diba? So if we did, I hope you all remember that I hope that we all remember that the fate of our democracy and upliftment is in our hands kahit na sino pa man din ang maluklok dyan sa posisyon. Okay? So choose leaders, well, in the meantime, because it's election, diba? Choose leaders who are not going to be sellouts to countries like China, diba? And also, and unfortunately, marami, diba? Equally choose leaders who have programs and plans that are in the following platforms. Of course, number one right now, it's sovereignty, diba? And defense and security of our country and our territories. So underscore territories. Because you know, right now, diba, we know who is encroaching. Diba? Not even on our territorial waters, pero even down in Zambales, diba, they have been mining. Mining, oh my God, I think they've flattened the mountain there already. So it's so sad. Diba? Of course, choose a candidate who will also work on taxation, diba? But sorry to say, but even the poor has to have taxation. Kasi sila naman yung nakikinabang, like when you see, when like during the last pandemic, diba? Tapos this something program, yung something P, something, I don't know because I don't read the news. So say sila naman nakakinabang, they also have to give back. Kasi ang sakit naman sa mga middle class, diba, na sila yung wala silang choice kundi natatanggalan ng taxes. So I hope we can make one that really equalizes it. So kung hindi magbabayad yung taxes, dapat yung mga middle class ang mas marami, and sure na nagbabayad ang mas maraming tax tax rebates or tax breaks or something like that. So I don't know what the terms are, but I'm sure you get. Also, of course, right now in matters of health and education, diba? Economy and investments, negosyo more than just employment. So right now we've been peddling employment. Ang daming nabigay na employment na ganito, diba? But you know what? We are still poor. So I hope we also raise the level of pagiging negosyante ng mga Pilipino by making the government institute plans like programs like this, diba? Related to this, diba? Of course, science and technology, especially now, hindi na tayo pwedeng mahuli. Okay? Of course, also in environment, agriculture, crisis management, because right now we have the pandemic, then we have this sudden spike in gas prices, diba? That's crisis. Kasi ang tatamaan yung pobreng Pinoy, diba? Also, of course, those who will fight crimes, corruption, and instill peace and order kahit sino pa yan, diba? Kahit mayaman or may posisyon sa gobyerno, diba? And then also, of course, someone who will totally set their foot down and break down all dynasties, including their own. So yun po, diba? Dynasties and monopolies. Recently, I'm really glad kasi right now daw, companies, telcos yata, and airlines or something can now come in and own corporations parang 100%, diba? So I think this is a law that they passed recently, but check it out. Baka mali lang ulit yung nabasa ko because I just really just scroll. Okay? Now, whether we get to elect the best and right leaders this election or the following elections, the most important thing to remember pa rin, guys, is that change will just come from us each day, di ba? Even if God puts an archangel, kahit si Michael pang ilagay niya dyan sa posisyon, if bulok tayo pagkatao natin as a citizen, di ba? And bulok ang ating pamamaraan, nothing's gonna change, okay? First, Christ tried to change the world and look where it is now. So, di ba? And supposed to be puro faith na tayo. And right now, even during election, we use God's name in vain, di ba? Tapos magnanakaw din naman yung, di ba? Tapos monopolies or something, or dynasties din naman. So what I'm really trying to say is hindi, 'di ba? No matter, even if it's an archangel is placed there, even if it's Jesus Christ who comes down and sits on and becomes president of the Philippines, tayo pa rin ang makakatulong para magbago yung bansa natin. Okay? So why we outnumber government officials and employees by logic alone, 'di ba? We can make a difference towards improving our lives, and also ano ba tawag dito, parang bringing pride, 'di ba, into our system of governance, 'di ba? So like Pasig, right? Mayor Vico may gulay, he's so young, 'di ba? But he's able to really set his foot down when it comes to moral leadership. So natutuwa din. So pwede kasi hindi lang si Mayor Vico, but the Pasigueños, diba, is what you call them, decided also to commit to support or to support him. Kaya naman ang ganda naman nangyayari sa Pasig, diba? So kudos, Mayor Vico. So anyway, so let me give you an example why it is in our hands to ultimately be the change we want to see in our government. So it's 7:16, time check, diba? And 2 weeks ago, I had a client who was interested to start our business, diba? We presented to her, kaya lang she did not have 10, diba, number. So, and that's what I'm really very proud of, because our business is so legit that we require 10 and paying our taxes. Okay? So, ang galing, diba? So I know and I really know that it's discouraging to pay taxes kasi ninanakaw lang naman, di ba? Or becomes a means for bribery. So kunwari, like in our company, di ba, it is true that you can earn, let's say, 1 million. You can in a month. Di ba? Tatrabahuin mo with your team. Hindi mo mag-isang gagawin, unlike a trad business. Assuming that you are earning 1 million every month or 1.2, i-compute mo na lang yung tax niyan. I-compute mo by the month and by the year. O di ba, ang sakit-sakit. So, ako mismo personally, if I earn that, I like that I can pay the tax. Di ba? Kasi, one, it's already for me, my tithing. Di ba? Hindi yun parang, walang pinagkaiba ang tithing sa church sa akin, tsaka tithing sa tax, because supposed to be that goes to the people, 'di ba? I can help the church, sure, pero I prefer to pay the taxes. So okay lang 'yon. Ang mabigat lang naman sa loob doon, let's say pag kino-compute ko siya, kung kumikita ako ng ganun, hindi po, 'di ba? Ang bigat lang na we know na yung mga nakikinabang naman ng pondo are corrupt, 'di ba? Sa kanila muna napupunta tax. 'Di ba? So yun lang naman din yung masakit. Pero if you know what, if everyone, I think so, that our taxes are properly used, diba, and properly used and morally used, everyone's most likely not going to mind, diba? So anyway, so I recommended for this person to get a TIN number, diba? At since it is already quick and easy, the system, madali na siya. Within the day, within your application, makakakuha ka ng TIN number, self-employment TIN number. Then she went on about how she doesn't want to get TIN number because, sabi niya, pag nagka-TIN number siya, kakatasan na siya kaagad ng tax na sobrang laki. Diba? So I get it. Tama naman. Unfair naman talaga yung taxing system natin. And, diba, as I said, nananakaw pa. But this person is not a college grad. So her employment is sort of like in the, di ba, yung mga jobs na nagtatanggap ng hindi does not require college degree. But anyway, ang problema doon, she made all the wrong assumptions about TIN number and taxation, di ba, yung pagbayad nito, and as her basis for not wanting to pay tax. O di ba, ang saklap. So it is bothersome for me because this is a person who demands ayuda or benefits from the taxes that the middle class pay, 'di ba? Pero ayaw niyang magbayad if ever. At tapos ang masakit doon, mali-mali naman yung intindi niya sa taxation sa pagkuha ng TIN number. So how can we see change, 'di ba? If tayo mismo is already corrupt to begin with. So we chant and chant whether we are the BBM camp or Lenny or Lacson or Isko or Pacquiao camp, 'di ba? We chant and chant pagbabago, 'di ba? Kaya lang tayo mismo, we don't contribute to that pagbabago we want to see, di ba? So anyway, there are many ways that we can help our government or our country become world class, di ba? And it all boils down to our behavior and our virtues, di ba? So for example, following road courtesy and traffic rules, di ba? Or di ba, yung mga simpleng no counterflowing. Alam mo yung ba dito sa kalye namin, nagkaroon ng 2 traffic light. Bakit? Kasi for years and years and years, grabe talaga mag-counterflow yung mga tao just so they can turn left and just so they can turn left or they can turn right or they can cross that intersection. So ang pinakamasikat nun, every time I see that traffic light was not placed there para lang di ba, to ease the traffic, di ba? It was placed there because hindi disiplinado yung mga nagda-drive na dumadaan papunta dito sa kalye. Di ba? That's more painful kasi natayo siya dahil sa kasamaan ng ugali. Di ba? Sa kaswapangan, kadupangan. Di ba? So, yun yung, those 2 traffic lights, yun yung symbol niya. Di ba? So, sana naman, di ba? So, if you really want change, di ba? Forget whether the elections will bring the president or the vice president or the senatorial slates that you want, diba? Forget that because it all will begin with you, with me, with all of us. Diba? So, siyempre, pero we can also, diba? So, kung hindi sa traffic, you can also, the waste segregation. Diba? Pwede natin ito gawin, matrabaho to, grabe, as in talaga. Diba? But we have to, but this is part of our job, diba? We have to keep our surroundings clean and take initiative to do so also. Another is tulungan ng sarili, diba? Para umunlad. You know, Taal is again is erupting, diba? And it was God, parang sa akin, God gave them 2 years to uplift their lives. So come up, diba, to come up. And meron pong marami talagang opportunities dyan na legal, moral, ethical, diba? Magtutulungan lang, diba? Kaya lang yun nga. So 2 years and of course I want to say kawawa naman, 'di ba? Kasi 2 years nagkaroon ng chance. 'Di ba? Nagkaroon ng chance somehow na magkaroon ng ipon or magkaroon ng backup plan, masuportahan yung backup plan na yon, 'di ba? So maybe kahit one year's worth muna or 6 months worth basta backup na makakagawa tayo ng paraan. So I hope na nagawa nga nila, 'di ba? Kasi yun nga, we really ultimately have to help ourselves. Ako din, guys, 'di ba? My husband does not have a job right now, and right now we're just really depending on our Usana business. And hindi siya madali, hindi siya madali because it borders on the fear, 'di ba, of many people, 'di ba? So can you imagine every day I talk to 1 million fearful people na nagiging sinungaling. 'Di ba? Dahil lang sa takot nila. Pero there are opportunities like us, 'di ba? All we have to do is legal, moral, ethical. All we have to do is take out our doubts, 'di ba? Or yung pagmamalaki na kaya natin siyang aralin. I always say, kung kaya nating aralin maging mayaman, bakit mahirap tayo? Diba? Kasi hindi natin alam paano maging mayaman. But there are vehicles like us na legal, moral, ethical that will require you to parang sort of like OJT. And you know, even as early as the first week, especially kung talagang gigil ka, makuha yung income mo, diba? I have friends here who have recently earned $400 and then $600 the following week, di ba? O kaka-start lang nila. So meron kung backup lang, di ba? So I hope na, yun nga, so very, very important to help ourselves para naman tayo umunlad, ba? So if again we find ourselves in this situation where like kami, 'di ba? Buti na lang medyo may naitulong na kami sarili namin, meron kaming steps ahead. Kaya lang syempre, 'di ba? Kung merong isang bali doon, 'di ba? Kailangan kong i-augment, kailangan kong balansin, I have to kaya bawiin kumbaga yung nawawala. Kasi syempre, 'di ba, ano bang resources na? Ang resources natin naman, it's not finite, 'di ba? I'm not Aboitiz or I'm not Ayala. I'm not Henry C. Diba? Hindi ako ganon. So I still have to work that out. So I found myself in that situation, and if you are also there, the best time to start right now, diba? To invest in your future is today. Diba? Sabi nga nila, money is like planting a mango tree. You have to start 20 years ago. And the next best time to start is today kasi you will harvest again in the next after 20 years. O, diba? So, magtanim na tayo na magtanim ngayon para meron naman tayong na-harvest. And that is one of those pagtulong. You know what? If all of us are maunlad or all of us are disciplined, who care? Pretty much, diba? The only time that we will care if the government is abusing us kung alaputin na siya. Parang hindi naman. 'Di ba? Parang well, pretty much at least except maybe for one leader, one candidate, parang nakikita ko naman the rest are not Putin. 'Di ba? So anyway, so in the end, guys, we can't keep blaming every government that has come or that comes. Ilang government nang dumaan sa atin since Marcos and more will come pa. Pero ganun pa rin tayo and palala because 'di ba tawag dito because we allowed the government to we bought into parang just the story na kaya tayo ganito dahil sa gobyerno natin, 'di ba? So in the end, guys, whoever you put there in your put there as president or vice president or senators, 'di ba? Remember, tayo pa rin ang magpapaunlad sa atin at magpapaganda ng buhay natin, okay? But in the meantime, don't forget all those reminders, 'di ba, on how to select your candidate that I just mentioned earlier. Okay, dokes? Anyway, so before I forget, Taal is on alert level 3. So communities around Taal should start their evacuation plan or process. So kanina parang talagang sumabog na it's no longer just smoke, 'di ba? You may keep yourselves updated from FIVOX. Ang importante, you are all safe and has a sound backup plan on rebuilding your lives, 'di ba? Or kasi we don't know. We don't right now parang for the last 2 years parang the ground down is rumbling. So anyway, I suggest you come and look at our business, diba? And if you decide to take it on, work on it right away. Because business-wise, we are the only opportunity that has turned hope into a method, diba? So anyway, peace of mind is very important, diba? So hindi ka pwedeng, kumbaga, wag kang, if you are one of the evacuees and wala kang source, hindi ka pwedeng tumambay dyan sa ganyang mababang kalagayan. Diba? Ako, ayoko rin tumambay ako. Diba? So we have to get up right away and move, kumbaga nga, okay? So make sure you guys are ready to up and go. Your safety and well-being are in your hands. And of course, we pray for everyone's safety na walang casualty dito. And of course, we pray for the Filipinos who are going to be helpful again in this time of need of ating mga kapatid na taga-Taal. All right? So anyway, now on the lighter side, so while I was looking for an article, I came across one about sleeping well, o diba? So I really love mga topics like this. So in the article, it recommended some, you can take nutritional supplement or some tea, some nutritional supplements like magnesium or for tea, chamomile tea, ganon. And you can also try kung supplementation lang, some, di ba, it's not there in the list, but you can also try melatonin, di ba? But if you want, I know that there are melatonin brands out there, pero if you are particular about walang organ damage, syempre brand lang namin yun, di ba? So now moving on, while they are all aids, di ba, like the tea or the supplementation, I want to share with you, and I made kwento about this na before, a very simple trick I used to put myself to sleep, di ba? How? Simple lang, I tell my brain to go to sleep, o di ba? Simple, I didn't do anything. So I repeat to my brain the word sleep till it understands the sort of instruction that's what we want it to do. Okay? So tawag dito, focus on that word and repeat it silently in your head. Na ganon. So I think that the reason why this works is because our brains functions are programmable. That means we can change the program, diba, sa utak natin. So there are already many scientific studies that support this and know that we can rewire our brain. And if we were to do so, diba, why not towards helping ourselves become healthy, diba? So anyway, so now speaking of healthy, so isa pang trick that I do, diba, for me to fall asleep because nga I got I know na that I can command my brain to sleep when I want to. I also use the word heal. So, kumbaga, I've leveled up. So every time I just focus on the word heal, and I think because when you are falling asleep, diba? When you are falling asleep, we go to a theta state or the REM state. Doon talaga tayo nagpo-progress, diba? Nagpo-progress. And if you are going to sleep anyway and going into a meditative, parang why not go do it in a healing meditative state, diba? Parang yung last word mo na prinogram habang nagpapatulog ka is also towards healing. Okay? So I prefer actually to use this over just using the word sleep kasi tawag dito. Of course, for me, it's hitting two birds with one stone. Okay? So anyway, try that. Diba? Wala namang mawawala. And then let me know how it went for you. So again, ganito lang ginagawa ko pag nakahiga na ako and have nothing else to do. Even if my brain is still busy, diba? Or watching TV or kakatapos ang manood ng Netflix and the images or the stories are fresh in my head. Diba? And then naalala ko gusto ko nang matulog, diba? I simply go sleep. So kinakausap ko yung utak ko kumbaga. Okay? So I've been doing this for ages. I think almost 8 years now. In fact, naalala ko lang 8 years because I actually suggested this to my friend Brad. Diba? He's one of the parang committee or organizers of our international convention in Lusana. But anyway, I hope he did it because I have no contact with him anymore. So if ako naman sharing this with you, diba? Kasi kung wala ka namang chamomile tea at wala ka namang magnesium pero gusto mo mag-order ng magnesium, sige, sabihin mo, meron ako nun. Diba? So anyway, kung wala ka nun and you're having a hard time sleeping, try meditating or meditating yourself to sleep by telling your brain over and over, sleeping time na. Sleep. Ayan. Ako na yung nakatulog. So anyway, it's 7:32. So ano ba? Speaking of healthy, ito pa, isa pang tip, diba? I've been trying to get off rice for the last 3 weeks and I am in between struggle and success. And unfortunately, I'm leaning more on success, maybe kasi memorize ko na yung pattern ko. So I'm really glad about that. Now, I do IF, intermittent fasting, and salad replacement, diba? So that means that instead of eating rice or eating rice during my late lunch, I eat salad instead. So I've not done my Nutri-Meal, diba? Our meal replacement as my brain is still out on that one. Ayaw pa talaga niya. So pag nag-uusap kami, sinasabi niya, ayaw ka pang mag-Nutri-Meal. But I want to share a tip with you on succeeding your day-to-day diet struggle. Diba? Last time, may na-mention ako, parang take it one day at a time. Pero this one, let's go. I want to share my tip with you on how you can actually manage your eating, your diet meals and your eating behavior, diba? So kaya ko naman ito naalala because I was scrolling for segment topics and saw pork picadillo complete with quail eggs in Google, diba? When I went to my phone and went to Google. So, I love picadillo, pork picadillo, diba? Tuwing kumakain nun, it's like I have gone to heaven and back. Tuwing kakain ako nun. But I can't eat that out of whim. And the problem is, diba, when you are on a diet, diba, that's the temptation strongly lingers, especially if it's your favorite food or your soul food, diba? And when that happens, to me now, diba, or sa inyo, what I recommend sa inyo is do switching, diba? So a lot of time kasi when we are about to break our diet, it's because either we are craving something or we are tempted to eat. So kunwari, your friends, you're on a diet and then your friends brought you to a buffet station, diba? On the day na nagda-diet ka na. So it's not because sometimes na you're hungry or what, but because, diba, it's buffet, it's eye candy. Party for our tummy and our soul, di ba? So, we can also get tempted kahit hindi natin siya kine-crave or hinahanap-hanap. Okay? So, it's mostly because of the flavors and sensations that we get from the food, but hardly the food itself, di ba? How do I know? Ito na po yung kaya nga switching. So, when you have weekend moments like this, di ba, when you are craving for something and where you are tempted to eat, like when you see picadillo and you just wanna make one or order, diba? Tawag dito. This is what you can do instead. Well, when I talk about switching, what you have to do is find an equal or similar sensation and flavor options, diba? To the food that you want to eat, diba? So yung similar sensation and flavor mo must of course be on the side of being healthy so that you can continue your diet. So for example, ako, I wanted to eat, let's say, ano ba yung hinanap ko nung isang araw? I just wanted to eat actually beef, diba? Bordering on steak, basta fried, bordering on steak. But if I eat that, maghahanap ako usually ng kaulam niya like maybe mashed potato or pasta, ganun, diba? So, what I just really want there actually is that of that meal, I just wanted something savory and delicious and filling, diba? So, it's not really the steak per se or the steak per se. So, ang ginawa ko, the switch was, I still retained the beef but I did not use a steak. Tama-tama, meron kaming beef slices there, yung parang pang samyup. So I got only a little of that, a small portion. Tapos I got lechuga. So tamang-tamang, we had orders before na may natira pang feta cheese, diba? So and then we have we have ready na raspberry dressing na nandiyan naka-standby kasi nga we are on salad replacement. So yung savoriness, diba? I just pan fried the beef. And then I had more and then the lechugas is something that I really love to eat. So, nandun na yung crunch, diba? Nandun yung health. Tapos nandun na yung savoriness. The crunch is also of, diba? When we eat, kasi it's one of the sensations that we look for. We like something either crispy or crunchy, diba? So, yung bonus doon, yung lechugas, at buti na lang masarap siya. So, because I can't, so I combined the beef, I put it lang there, parang samyup, diba? But, because I wanted complete, diba? That sensation and flavor that I'm looking for. So at para makain ko siya, siyempre nilagay ko yung cheese, diba? One block of feta cheese, and then nilagyan ko lang siya ng konting drizzle ng raspberry kasi hindi naman ako pwede kumain ng raspberry dressing kasi that has a lot of sugar. So minimize ko. Parang taste lang yung nilagay ko doon, na enough na masasatisfy ako. So that's what I did, diba? And so I was because I switch, diba? I look for that sensation and that similar sensation and flavor that will complete satiate my parang cravings or temptation, diba? Na ano na to na because it's switching and you get the same thing, augment niya na and therefore na ma-manage mo yung iyong meal, yung diet mo, and yung meals, from meal plan to meal plan. Okay? So, wait lang, let me just find it. So, now, kanina, so going back to the picadillo, of course, I just saw it in Google, and there's this place here in our area, one barangay, diba? You can join that group, diba? And nandun lahat ng aking Carinderia loves, diba? So nakita ko doon may picadillo, in-order ko naman siya. 65 pesos lang. Diba? Ang pangalan nung ang talino. Ang pangalan nung parang PM Cent, yung kanyang Facebook page. But anyway, diba? Nag-order ako doon, but did I eat it? No. Kasi ang plan ko today was to have an early dinner, which is about 5 o'clock. Diba? 5 o'clock or 5:30, and then that's it, and then just manage kung magutom man ako after meal, just manage it with fruits or juice and nuts. Kaya ko na yun, diba? So, tawag dito, nakain ko pa rin yung picadillo ko kanina and sinabayan ko pa ng fried chicken and fried rice. So, one meal lang ako. Na-manage ko ba yung diet ko? Yes. Anong ginawa ko switch when I was already hungry? Kanina, I just took pineapple juice tapos ate a few parang saute. Ano yun? Ano yung Japanese dilis? Konti lang nun, di ba? Just to, kasi nga switch, di ba? Para lang ma-manage ko na hindi ako kakain at my meal, my one and only major meal will be the picadillo and the fried chicken that I had. Ganun lang siya. So ngayon, after, okay na ako, busog pa nga ako. Diba? Busog pa ako dato sa 5 p.m. meal. It's already almost 8 o'clock. And then if ever I do get hungry, I will just ready na rin in my head yung paano pa i-manage. And I really just like either pineapple juice and maybe cantaloupe, a few cubes of cantaloupe of melon. So yun naman ang aking diet tips para sa inyo if you are having a hard time continuing it. Just remember guys, 'di ba? Even in dieting, it's IQ over EQ sa pag-manage ng ating mga buckle points. All right? So anyway, convo time now. It's 7:40. Earlier also while I was looking for an article, well, this was 3 days back, diba? I sometimes, research segments that I want to talk about, but one of the articles that I found there was about happiness and success. Ang tanong ng article is ang headline nung article na is, which comes first, happiness or success? O, diba? Legit question. So, and since it's still the International Month of Happiness, I would like to dwell on this aspiration. Diba? Let's milk this topic as much for this whole month of March. And I think, actually today, I think is the last Saturday of March pati, right? So anyway, so I think, diba, we have to be clear on this. It's a good topic also to discuss because as far as being a Filipino is concerned, diba, recently may article din ako nakuha na that the Philippines now ranks second as the happiest country. So, okay, diba? So, clap to us Filipinos. Pero, this is my take, diba? We have to be clear on the being happy side, and how does this become, our being happy Pinoys, how does this become detrimental to succeeding in the aspects of our lives that matter, diba, in our welfare and well-being and wellness. Okay, so we have to we have to be clear. We have to be very clear on which is we have to be very clear on what happiness, genuine happiness is, what true success is, and how and which one is more important to develop muna. Okay, so anyway, so ranking as the second happiest country, diba? It's commendable, diba? As it is, because it's already a baseline of a healthy emotion. Okay? It's good emotion to be in. Kaya lang, diba, our definition of happiness is yung madali tayong patawanin, matawa, diba? Madali tayong mag-let go, or diba, mag-let go pero kahit nasakit-sakit na sa loob natin, diba, naka-bottleneck, parang tinatawa-tawa-tawanan natin. Diba? So, up to a point, diba, that is, up to a point, pwede yun, but it's not parang it's not finite, 'di ba? Kasi nga, 'di ba, pwede hindi ka naman pwedeng mahirap ka, wala kang pera, naghirap yung pamilya mo, 'di ba? Tapos tinatawanan mo lang yung problema mo. Madali kang patawanan, madali mong i-let go, madali mong accept, and then say bahala na, bukas na ulit si Lord, 'di ba? Hindi naman pwedeng gano'n. So anyway, because ang happy that we know is a good happy, diba? But this kind pero this kind of being happy is more of the fleeting kind, diba? It's not the productive kind of happiness. It's not the happiness that stays that is lasting, or it's not the happiness, the state of happiness talaga yung pinag-uusapan natin. Okay? So as I said, I don't recommend just the feeling of happy without recognizing that healthy happiness is reflected both inside and outside. So inside of us and also outside, which is the aspects of our lives. So anyway, so we have to make sure that that we get to understand that being happy completely, diba? It's not just emotion, but it is a state of welfare, wellness, and well-being. And these three must reflect inside and out of us. Okay? So otherwise, itong happiness index na to na second happiest will be more like being on the denial index, 'di ba? I'm not being hard. I'm not being hard, pero yung I don't mean to sound hard on that. Kaya lang, 'di ba? Ako yung naging yung lessons of what happiness is all about, 'di ba? It's like a Rubik's cube that you really put together. Hindi ka talaga pwedeng to live in denial. Hindi ka pwedeng mag-live on bahala na mode. It's such a high discipline. It's such a sobrang high ng discipline ng that is required of being happy. Kasi nga kailangan wellness, welfare, and well-being. So sa welfare, that means hindi ka pwedeng mahirap, hindi ka pwedeng may utang, hindi ka parating broke, hindi ka parating walang trabaho, natatanggal sa trabaho. Sa wellness, hindi ka pwedeng may sakitin, 'di ba? Hindi pwedeng pamilya mo rin nagkakasakit, wala kang pangbayad or something, 'di ba? Nangungutang ka, babalik ka na naman sa welfare. Sa well-being lalo na. So if your wellness, 'di ba, kung sakitin ka, wala ka pang pera, you won't have peace of mind. So kaya siya discipline talaga ang being happy. So in the episode today, I will share my 2 cents worth on my take on that question, which is more important, being happy first or being successful. Okay? So ito na. So controversially and in a very succinct answer, success is more important to achieve before happiness. So bago kayo magalit, 'di ba? Before I get any violent reaction, if and only if we can be mindful about integrating the system of happiness as we succeed. So ibig sabihin, 'di ba? Mas mahirap talagang i-achieve ang success, guys. It's kasi compared to being happy and being successful, happiness is just totally dependent on us to be in this state. Pero success is dependent on everybody. Okay? So anyway, number 1, happiness, whether an emotion or state, is a great comfort zoner. So hindi tayo pwedeng mauna ang happiness. Success requires us to be outside our comfort zone and comes with a lot of failures. So comes with a lot of failures and a lot of failures that we have to deal with. So as being happy first, kung being happy ang uunahin natin, it runs the risk of sabotaging our determination, our will, and our commitment, not to mention the future of our loved ones whenever failure arises. Diba? Kasi, the future of our loved ones. Kasi whenever failure arises, we tend to quit dahil yun yung maluwag sa loob. Diba? So in other words, sa first sign pa lang ng challenge, nagle-let go na tayo. And if we are uunatin na ng happiness, ang tingin natin, even in the words of self-love, we will justify it as self-love and self-care. Pero in fact, di ba, that is short-lived. That is short-lived kasi magre-require pa rin. Life will continue to happen to you. So kung uunahin lang natin ang being happy, di ba, tapos yung being successful, mas mahihirapan tayo. And I've learned that some incident in my life, 'di ba? I went through a really bad bad time in my life, and my battle cry was being happy. Nagkataon lang po. But even then, I was already going for success. Kaya lang, mas maayos siya. When I got out and learned about being happy, 'di ba? Yung modules of being happy, kumbaga, and doon ko naman na-recognize na isa na lang happiness ang kulang sa buhay ko. That's why I am still working on financial wellness to this day, di ba? So, tawag dito, but yun nga, kung tatangin mo ako, ano yung gusto ko mauna? Syempre, financial wellness. Kasi, di ba, because I can learn to be happy every single day naman as I work on being successful. Number 2, happiness as a state is easier to acquire. Being happy depends highly on ourselves. So that's why kailangan mauna ang success. It does not require external validation kasi to be happy. So in other words, being happy is an internal criteria we set upon ourselves and is so achievable on our own through means of meditation. Hindi mo kailangan hindi mo kailangan magsama ng tao para matuto mag-meditate. You can go on retreats, 'di ba? personal retreat, kahit ikaw lang mag-staycation and set yourself up for healing program or meditation program. You can attend seminars, journaling, walking the dog, exercising. In other words, happiness is within your control. Diba? The choices that you make, hindi ibang tao magsasabi, hindi ka pwede mag-retreat or mag-meditate or mag-journal. Diba? Wala, ikaw magsabi, yes, starting today, I will. Diba? I will teach myself to be happy. And these are the things that I will do in order to build that. Whereas success, it requires being welcomed. Diba? Accepted by peers and by our target market, diba? Especially, diba, lahat naman ngayon binibenta natin. And we all know that we can only control what's inside and not outside, diba? So, magdating sa success, diba, uunahin natin yung being happy. Tapos, any challenges that comes while we are trying to mag-quit talaga tayo. So, again, diba, what you can do is put more time on learning how to be successful and balance with each day habang, diba, 10% time for building naman happiness as your foundation. Diba? 10% for intentional happiness each day. Ganun. Pero focus first kasi iba yung discipline talaga. Although nagme-merge yung discipline kasi it will require you to make time and spend an effort. Kaya lang, iba, mas medyo zen kasi ang learning how to be happy. Lastly, the honest to goodness happiness will still require us to succeed. So no matter what, even if unahin mo yung happiness, guys, true happiness will tell you exactly where your North Star is. Okay? Every area in your life, di ba, once you put that together, merong tawag dito, it will not lie to you. Alam mo what makes you happy. Di ba? Alam mo what also breaks your happiness. And whatever breaks your happiness, guys, that is the area that will require you to succeed most likely. So it will require us, di ba? So as I said, honest to goodness happiness will still require us to succeed in our lives. It will require us to be moneyed, diba? As financial wellness is a prerequisite to being happy 24/7. Okay? You don't have to be luxuriously rich, diba? Basta lang may peace of mind ka. Diba? If you don't want, okay? So, honest to goodness happiness, guys, will require you to have money because money is peace of mind. Okay? So in short, kahit na ano pang unahin mo sa dalawa, happiness will still require you to succeed if you want to achieve the true sense of being happy. Unfortunately, ganun po siya talaga. Diba? So kung tatanungin mo ako, I've asked this question, especially now, diba, I'm in this industry, and the income that I want is in the other people, diba? Yung sense of galing nilang mag-succeed. And I often wonder, paano kaya yung ginawa nila? Diba? So I try, I listen to them and I try to apply it, diba? And tawag dito. And pag tatanungin mo ako, pag nakikita ko sila, diba, because ours is morally legit, 'di ba? Moral, ethical and legal, 'di ba? At hindi rin siya easy money, 'di ba? Yung mga taong who works on their success in the business, talagang walang choice kundi to build in a good discipline, to build in a good habit, and to really become to really change from within, 'di ba, para lang makuha nila yung financial success nila in our company. And in doing so, 'di ba, ang nagiging byproduct is joy and happiness and a sense of deepest faith. Eh, 'di ba, pag sobrang deep yung faith mo, it also a deep faith, tapos meron kang success na nangyari, sobrang it becomes a solid parang source of happiness. And that's what I see in them, 'di ba? So now when I see them, 'di ba, imagine, di naman sila masaya dati. Some are depressed, many are poor, di ba? Yung talagang nakatira sa mga parang shanty level pa nga, di ba? Maraming ganon, di ba? Pero look, there are now not just spreading joy, di ba? But also sharing sharing their success tips and lessons to us who also want to get to where they are now. Diba? So are they just happy? No, they were successful first, and in the process of being successful, naging byproduct nila yung being happy. So parang why? Kasi on top of that, diba, aside from changing discipline, kasi they lived intentionally. Hindi nila, diba, kasi part of success, hindi ka nagsasayang ng oras. Hindi ka nagsasayang, part of being successful is you don't entertain negative thoughts. You take yourself out from toxic environment kasi kailangan mong maging focus, kailangan mong magkaroon ng clarity, kailangan mong good learning, ano ba tawag doon? Yung conducive to learning na environment, 'di ba? So because of the because they lived intentionally, 'di ba? Mas sumasaya sila. And then as sumasaya sila, they become parang, I guess, they become masters in their craft, 'di ba? In their in our business, in our industry. So they are able to parang hit two birds with one stone, pero they started with success first, 'di ba? So ikaw, if you're in the traditional side, 'di ba? Mas mahirap diyan. I suggest work on your success first, then parang invest about 10 minutes a day, 'di ba, on intentional happiness. What are you going to do in the 10 minutes or 15 minutes? Ito na yung me time mo. So this is where you either you detox and then you place good wiring by meditating, 'di ba? And or doing your ano pa ba? Visualizing where you want to go, and then so that that can get translated, let's say, in your path to success as a goal or a game plan. 'Di ba? So parang what they say, parang dream boarding, vision, 'di ba? Parang thinking positive, ganun. So marami. So you can, parang since you're doing that 10 minutes every single day, that is already intentional living. So you're spending about 80 to 90% on working on yourself so that you will become you and your business, 'di ba? And your life and your career are going to be successful, 'di ba? So yun, so when doing that, dahil may 10% na intentional living ka for happiness every day, acquire mo rin siya. Pero hindi yung puro happiness yung hahanapin mo muna, 'di ba? Kasi that's just going to break. 'Di ba? That's just going to break because happiness is a very practical energy. It's a very practical, ano bang tawag doon? Pedagogy or philosophy. Yung the one that I'm talking about. Pero try nyo sa life nyo. 'Di ba? Masaya ka ba that you are, if ever you are having a hard time in your job, in earning income, are you happy every day, genuinely? Or nasa-stress ka? Yun, yung mga kung araw-araw ka nasa-stress, pero hindi ibig sabihin nun, porque nakakatawa ka, nakaka-joke ka, 'di ba? Hindi ibig sabihin nun you're genuinely happy. 'Di ba? The fact that you have happiness breakers that remind you each day, that means may kulang ka. Ganon. So, work on that first, and parang live intentionally to be in success, and then live intentionally for happiness. So more on success and more on success every single day than happiness, and then as inulit ko lang. So by living intentionally, you get happiness out of it. Okie dokes. So yun yung naman so to close that example that I gave you, so whenever I look at them, 'di ba, and I compare them to the process that I went to, 'di ba? Pag tinatanong ko yung sarili ko, ano yung mas gusto ko sanang unahin? But I would have preferred success kasi that way I would have had peace of mind right away. Kasi ako, guys, ang peace of mind ko, the one that can solidify my happiness is financial wellness. Yun na lang naman ang kulang sa akin, di ba? So, kaso siguro baliktad yung binigay sa akin ni Lord na process, di ba? And I'm just learning the ropes now, di ba? So, do I like one, and dito ko rin na-discover that because I could be happy, it's the tip of my fingertips, kayang-kaya ko, di ba? To pull myself out of possible depression. Tawag dito, it has also become, when I was starting here, it also became my comfort zone, 'di ba? Akala ko dati I had to nurse myself. Tagal-tagal ko mag-nurse ng sarili ko. 'Di ba? Pagka nakaka-experience ako ng failure, 'di ba? Yung pala, pero hindi. So, ayun, in fact, dumating sa point na when somebody asked me, what would it take? What will I sacrifice? And I said, the use of being happy. Just to get to my goal, or just to complete my happiness, that is financial wellness. Diba? Sabi, bakit naman yun? To a person who doesn't understand the principle of being happy, syempre parang diba? Wow, talaga mag-sacrifice ka ng happiness. Diba? Pero ako, I know exactly how that I will not use it. Sabihin, kaya kong tiisin in the name of financial wellness kasi that's peace of mind for me and my family. You get the idea? Okay, so you can't be completely happy without success. Try being broke all the time. Try being a failure all the time. I learned being happy first before succeeding, and it has taught me that the roads to being happy will still require success in our life areas. And one of the most important life areas is on sound financial wellness, as nothing in this world really comes for free. Diba? No one will come to our rescue when we are broke each day or in debt every day. So when we are forever financially ill, it affects every areas of our aspirational and physical happiness, such as love, relationship, healthy, peace of mind, and life. And trust me, guys, you need to be outside your comfort zone to end up in your happy zones. Totoo yan. Okay? So we've come to the end of our episode, and let me leave this with you. Happiness is easy to build. It is merely emotions and state of being. Success, on the other hand, is a state of balance and a force in our life and can set up our happiness in the long run. So happiness, you've got this. Success, no. But just like happiness, you can build it. And if I suggest, build it first. Okay? So that's it, folks. And let's continue to help Ukraine, diba, keep their freedom and sovereignty forever. You can donate you can donate and maybe sign petitions or causes. So good night. So this is DJ Chinne saying good night and see you again next week.
The views and comments of the hosts and guests are not necessarily